It is so good to go live tonight. I can't believe it is the last Monday of 2025. So, if this is your first time subscribing to my channel, welcome. I'm Connie Kircher. I serve as the Elite Entrepreneur Coach. And I wanted to get on, I'm kind of losing my voice. So, let's see how this video goes. But I wanted to really lean into, as we close out 2025, three intentional reflection questions that as you look at what happened in 2025, so you can be either better than before, elevate certain areas, maybe eliminate some spaces in your business that weren't serving you well, you'll have these three reflection questions to go back to. So let's dive straight into that. If you have never seen any of my content or ever trained with me, coached with me, attended any of my retreats, I am all things strategy. I love working with entrepreneurs in terms of the spaces of prioritization, really scaling your marketing and sales strategies, whether that be B2B or B2C, and then really looking at what follow up and retention looks like in a real, honest, human way in your business. So, if any of that ever, hits a chord for you, or you'd love to be able to do some work with me, check out the link in the bio, and there's always a consultation link there. So, let's start with the first question. And let's dive in deep. So, the first question I want you to reflect on from January to today, December, if you're watching this live, give me a thumbs up or a heart. And let me know, and truly more for you, but let me know because I do want to know in the comment section, what was the one thing in your business that built momentum and maintained it? Was it a partnership? Was it a marketing, initiative that you did? Was it a content series? Was it a workshop you did? Was it a board that you sat on? Was it a referral partner that kept momentum going for you for all 12 months? Because what I find as, CEOs of our own business and working in our business and working on our business is sometimes we get stuck in the mud and the minutia and never look at what actually built momentum and maintained it, right? Like what kept the wheels turning for all 12 months, because there are going to be some peaks and there are going to be some valleys. But if you can look at some consistent, some constants, data points in your business, it's going to serve you well to double down on those in 2026. I always coach my clients to say our companies are not Innovation LLC. Like our entire company is not on the purpose of just always doing something new, innovative, next trend, try. Because honestly, that's not sustainable. It's not scalable. And then people, and including yourself, get confused of what the initiative and the intention and direction of your business actually is, right? So look at the last 12 months, really reflect on what did build momentum? What do we need to be doubling down in terms of our resources, our time, our efforts, our support in? Because you saw that have a great impact. It served who you wanted to serve beautifully. It was effortless in terms of it made sense, right? Like what you put in, what you put out, how the whole process happened wasn't clunky, if you will. That is a wonderful way to look at, okay, those were some of the initiatives, some of the key performance indicators that I need to rinse and repeat for 2026. My encouragement, and what I always kind of say for a data point is, adapt about 30% to make some changes, some big changes, but really 70% of your business model should be pretty stable. Okay. And I see sometimes when I see, start with clients that they're changing 70% of their business model every year, and maybe hanging on by a thread is 30%. Maybe on a good day. So I really want to flip the script as we're doing this reflection video and as you're watching this to maybe slow down, land the plane a little bit, and look at, if I had to build the plane, 80% of it, I can't just keep getting new parts and new pieces. No, that's a pretty like, this is what works for 12 months consistently. Let's double down on that. And then maybe make some little tweaks or some innovation points because you did have a new idea, have a great opportunity, an invitation to do something new. I never want to say do zero of that, but I do want to have really healthy boundaries to say it's not going to serve you well to scale your business, no matter what your business model is, by constantly reinventing every single fiscal year. Okay. So, second reflection question that I want you to lean in as you being in the business and managing you and managing all the moving parts is the one of the most important assets is your calendar, right? I am obsessed with making sure that your calendar is efficient, it's effective, it makes sense for your life, right? Like truly, truly, I say that you're number one in your business, not from an egocentric, not from a you're on a pedestal, standpoint, but from you having to be able to take action, have the vision, be able to, keep growing the business, right? Like that is your responsibility as the business owner. And most of us are still the employees of our business too, activating a lot of the inner workings of that. Your calendar is the most important employee. Think about it as a tangible employee. They are keeping all of your priorities, project management. Where should you be doing sales calls? Where should you be doing networking? When do you need rest and recovery? When are you taking days off? Right? Because again, if you were working for a larger company or a company that had, a 7 team HR crew, they would be asking you, when are you taking your time off? What is the process for that? So sometimes when we're serving just as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, we forget that the calendar is your lifeline. I really, really do mean that. I've always said your calendar is your battlefield, and all of the planning and all of the processing on your calendar is where the battle is won. Then you're just going through the action steps of your day. You're doing your time block of 90 minutes here. You're taking a 30-minute energy break. You're making sure that you do your back-to-back content sessions because that makes sense on Tuesdays for you, right? So I cannot encourage enough for you to honestly audit your calendar, virtual or paper. I'm still old school. I like being able to have a visual representation. I like to being able to put in, segments and on electronic. I just don't get that responsiveness. I know that about myself. So I've just always gone back to paper calendar. But you honestly reflecting to go, how does that look for me where my calendar elevated me and I need to put some cornerstones and map out 12 months. 12 months of what my business non negotiable events or priorities or CFO time, CEO time, marketing time is going to be, and make those non negotiables. And then look at some buffer space in your calendar and have an honest, question back to yourself to say, how many times did you just delete or negate one of those time blocks that you said you would do, the project, the website redesign, the, sales calls, right? And be honest to go, how can I set up my calendar that works for you? I don't think there is a one way, one fits all of how you should segment, line item, prioritize, the way that your exact 7-day calendar looks like. But what I will say is that it is a living, breathing asset in your business and in your life as an entrepreneur. And so for you to take that seriously, notice my reflection questions are what were the trends, right? Like tell me where momentum was rocking in sales, in performance, in marketing, in strategy, in strategic partnerships, right? In any of the launches that we did. Like those are important pieces to duplicate and refine and, multiply next year. Second reflection question is the beast of your calendar and really being honest on how do you prioritize it? How do you make sure that the calendar is serving your energy levels, your output levels right? And making sure that you have availability and not switching gears multiple times throughout the day, right? I always say we're monotasking, we're batching on our calendar, and it is the calendar's responsibility to kind of ding, put me to the next, shift of the day to say, okay, now I'm in my 1 to 3 segment. Now I'm in my 3 to 5 segment. And when you clean that up, when you slow down, and we have this week to do that, slow down and set up the ideal cadence with, again, buffer space so that when life is going to be lifing, you have some availability to shift, some flexibility to reschedule, and it not have to completely collapse your entire calendar. So hear my heart in this. And if you need support, I'm happy to again come alongside, coach, audit your calendar so that we really can find a cadence that works for you and really expedites your most important income producing activity and also starts to reduce some just fluff in your calendar or time that is not serving you well. So you can buy back some of your time. But I really want to lean in and make sure that you honestly reflect on how did calendar time go? What did you hold true to? What do you need to reestablish as a calendaring habit and cadence? Because it is a living, breathing tool in your business. Last but not least, as we close out this video, is going to be my third reflection question. And I don't think it's the most important. I just think it ties it in a nice little bow. Is that what has your relationship management looked like for this year? In terms of prospects, in terms of current clients, in terms of yourself, because you are managing you. So when you think about and reflect, how could I have, kept in touch, built more rapport, did more sustainable follow-up strategies? I want you to see what did work, and maybe you did a couple of these things, maybe you had good intentions to do them. But the last part of this question of, what did you do to really keep relationship management top of mind for you and your business, is what are your strengths in that, right? If you're a handwritten note kind of person and that's your style, well, then let that be your relationship management, sweet spot. If you are a voice memo or a systematic way of doing it, or a invite all the appreciation events and this, follow it, whatever your modality where you are shining, you are truly being able to pay forward your gifts and really make sure that it's a follow-up plan that is going to be sustainable for you and you're energized about it, you'll do it. But if you're just going to say, I should be doing this after networking, I should, when I go speak, do this follow up strategy. And there's got to be 7 touch points. Connie, you told me 12 touch points. Connie, you told me there's formulas, there's best practices, and a ton of my content teaches the data behind what follow up strategies should look like, could look like. But it really is then for you to customize those and say, with the bandwidth I have and the skill set and strengths I have, how can I elevate my relationship management tools? Okay. So, whether that be through a true automated system, whether it be through a little bit of a blend of the human system, which is you, and mostly it's usually a hybrid, right? Look honestly and say, what are going to be my 3 ways I'm going to utilize my strengths as a relationship management tool? That could be events, that could be education, that could be heartfelt notes, that can be a plethora of modalities of how you can do a meaningful relationship management strategy. But I want you to slow down and really think about, because that department in most of my clients' businesses are lackluster. We have great intentions of doing that post engagement of whatever we were, meeting with that person, that company, that partnership, that sponsorship, and we completely just kind of ghosted them. We left them hanging. We never, kind of did the next step with them to keep building rapport or collaboration with them. And I'm just going to really, really encourage you to go. If anything else could change in 2026, heighten your relationship management system. You will stand out, you will be in integrity, and you, as you managing you, will feel better that you don't wake up at 2 a.m. and go, oh my gosh, I said I was going to email that person. Oh my gosh, I said that proposal was going to go. Oh my gosh. I just went to 2 networking events and I have 4 people I was going to connect with, and they were wonderful, connections. And I had some, interactions and introductions for them, and they were going to be, and I forgot or I didn't do it. Let's tighten up that strategy. Let's get really intentional in 2026 so that your time out and about and on social media and networking and all the things that we're doing to do outbound make sense when they come and want to revisit what you do and how you serve. Let's make sure that we have those pieces built in so that they make sense. You're excited to do them. And then people can genuinely start going, okay, like, let's do more with you. Tell me more about that. Because now you have a relationship management strategy that is still authentic, it's very consistent, and it really is serving you and others around you more than you know. So, in the comment section, again, I want you to put what your greatest takeaway was out of 1, 2, or 3. If you want to see any specific content as we are going into our recording season for this new year, please put a topic below, a question below. I'm happy to do some specific videos on that. And again, this first month, we are going to dive into prioritization, all things calendar. So everything in January is going to be talking about how do you really elevate that piece of decision making and calendaring. And again, number two in line in your business is that calendar. And I want to give you some real life ways of how I've refined my calendaring cadence techniques, how I coach a lot of my clients to kind of find their sweet spot in the tool of calendaring, and also maybe some blind spots that you haven't thought about how important you having a sustainable calendar actually looks like. So enjoy. Happy new year. I hope that this was a blessing in those three reflection questions. Feel free to again reach out if there's any support I can offer in terms of coaching. If you have any questions about any of my upcoming retreats, I'd love to get on a phone call with you then. And if not, have a happy, wonderful, safe, amazing new year. And I will see you all in the kickoff of January. Bye.